Hi, my name's Nyla.
Hi, my name's Jonathan.
We've both got a question for you. Do you ever find yourself feeling drained by other people or places, or overwhelmed by the sensory information that you're tuning into, or picking up other people's energies and carrying them around with you? If that sounds familiar, then keep watching. This video is for you.
It's important just to take a moment and check to see if you resonate with some of Nyla's questions. Are you one of those people who you make a phone call, you're feeling pretty chipper and upbeat and positive, the other person isn't having such a good day, and by the end of it, they're feeling great and you're feeling a bit blah? Well, if that happens in your life more than once or twice, then you're sensitive. It's important just simply to acknowledge that. So many of the clients we've seen over the years have been overwhelmed by their sensitivity. They haven't known how to manage it, maybe to turn the dial down, so to speak, or to turn it up when they need it. And therefore, life gets in the way. And sometimes it can be overwhelming. So many of those clients have stepped back from using their intuitive senses, their empathy, their sense of compassion and connectivity with others. So, we'd like to say to you that there are simple and quick and easy to learn practices that genuinely can take you from a place of overwhelm to being able to tune into your senses and use them for yourself, to guide yourself and potentially to guide others. To give you a bigger picture, so to speak, we'd like to tell you a little bit about ourselves and our own challenges with energy management and also with sensitivity overwhelm.
Well, I've been intuitive probably since birth, I think. I remember at the age of 4 being taken to weddings with my parents and taking one look at the bride and groom and just saying, oh, that's not going to work. At the age of 4, I didn't really have a filter, so often I would say it out loud, much to my parents' embarrassment.
That's a bit awkward.
It was very awkward.
So you don't do that anymore?
No, I don't. I keep zipped. And so that kind of connection and intuitiveness kind of continued, and it got stronger and stronger as I went into adult life. And so as an adult, I decided that actually I need to do something about it. So I learnt to use it in a professional way and trained to become an intuitive reader. And from then on, I've trained to do various other things, healing and other complementary therapies. But at the same time, doing what's called a normal job in the City of London.
Well, my story is not too far off yours, with a few exceptions. I, for example, have worked for 20 years in a normal job in the City of London. But rolling back in time, my childhood was very normal. We were, I guess, very logical, rational, fairly scientific based. Sensitivity, energy, this sort of stuff, it was never discussed. And that was okay, that's the way I was brought up. However, 17 years ago, I had a life-changing experience, and that kick-started, and what I think now, looking back on it, was a powerful spiritual awakening. In short, I went into hospital expecting myself to come out a few hours later, stayed there for 9 months, and 2 of those months were intensive care. When I was in intensive care, of course, all that time I was unconscious. But I remember a time when I became literally aware of the feel of the pressure of the oxygenated air from the ventilator coming to my lungs. And I felt the pain in my throat from a tracheotomy.
Not nice.
Not nice, but it was just a microsecond of awareness. And then literally quicker than I could think, quicker than I could blink an eye, I was out of my body. That was the good bit, getting out of the body.
Lucky.
So I got out of my body and I felt light as a feather. I literally felt like a rucksack of rocks had been lifted off my shoulders. I felt as though I was surrounded by so much love. it's indescribable. Well, I began to cry. So I was looking down at my physical body, and let's face it, I was definitely past my prime. Interestingly, though, the nurse, intensive care next to me, was crying. So I guess she knew that there were no such things as fake near-death experiences. They really are near-death experiences. Well, ultimately, in that experience, I chose to come back. Fast forward a few years, and I began to get, more and more sensitive. I began to reconnect with my sensitivity. I began to be aware of energetic activities going on around me. Soon, I wanted to train as a medium, and I started to do that. Then I trained in many other areas, past life, hypnosis, etc., healing, spirit release, and also space clearing. So I guess we better share a little bit about how we got into this.
Yeah, I think that would be a good place to start.
So we pretty much, I think it's fair to say, for the last 10 years we've been thinking and doing nothing else but working with energy. Seeing, exploring and working with energy. And that all started out back then when I was working in the City of London, when I purchased an extraordinary machine, literally revolutionary photographer for the 21st century. You put your hand on a hand plate, it enables the client or ourselves to see cloud-like colours, different cloud-like colours emerge around your energy field, around your head. This is your energy field. And real time, you can think, you can feel, you can do something like that, and immediately it changes. Absolutely remarkable. What really clients are seeing is their inner beauty. And often it's a life-changing experience for them. So we've worked a lot with energy, and above all, out of that came the need to learn what energy management was. Energy management is simply developing a range of tools and techniques to help us manage our energy so our sensitivity doesn't get overwhelming and so that we don't pick stuff up, and if we do, we can clear it quickly. Yeah. So that is where the last thing to say is over those years we put together about 60 different practices to help. Many of them genuinely did help clients, but what we found, like in our own lives, was that people are busy. Which kind of you understand, right?
Yeah, life gets in the way.
That's right, life gets in the way. So we began to develop a range of crystals to help. Crystal bracelets to help in energy management. In fact, if I can borrow my model here, and, a modelling accessory, you'll see just some of the bracelets that we produce to help, thank you, to help support people to manage their energy. So,
what exactly is sensitivity and what is energy management? Well, what you can see around me right now is exactly that, my energy, or what's more commonly called my aura. Now, the aura is a collection of your thoughts, feelings, emotions and spiritual aspirations, all bundled together as energy vibrations.
Yeah, I love that. I love that definition. I'll have to take that away and write it down somewhere.
Oh, I might let you have it.
Thank you. So how does that fit in with sensitivity? How does energy or our aura fit in with sensitivity? And where does our sensitivity come from? Well, you remember I spoke about how I died. I came out of my physical body and went into an energetic body and could see things, feel things, sense things, cry, etc. Those are our non-physical senses. They are literally glued to us. They're hand in glove with us. So we don't just have physical senses, we have non-physical senses that effectively are part and parcel of our non-physical bodies. We've all got them. The only variability is how sensitive and how open we are and how much we can sense. 7 chakras there are, from up here all the way down to the base of our spine. And the senses are literally found within those. They're rather like organs of senses. So that's how our sensitivity is encased in our non-physical body. Let's take an example. We go into an old building, and as we go in there, we feel in our tummy area, our solar plexus, heavy, something heavy. Maybe our solar plexus gurgles a bit or feels a bit heavy. That's literally one of our chakras sensing energy around us. Then if we can tune in and sense that actually that's grief, and there's quite a lot of grief, and there's been a lot of grieving over a long period of time, perhaps it was a workhouse, then that's our heart chakra that's tuning into the energy in that way. Let's say we're able to actually see energy, dark clouds swirling around, and maybe the flash of what looks like intense red lightning here and there. That's our third eye chakra, another sense that's helping us see, experience and relate and ultimately interact with the non-physical world around us. Energy management is simply the ability to develop a range of tools and techniques that support us in managing these senses.
But sensitivity can sometimes overwhelm us when we're least expecting it. I remember a few years back when I was in amongst friends, so the atmosphere I was expecting to be conducive, relaxed, quite happy. And it was, up until a certain point, when two of my friends got into an argument. And this argument went 0 to 60 in seconds. And the venom with which they were attacking each other was quite extraordinary.
I bet you weren't expecting that.
No, I certainly wasn't. But I remember being there thinking, oh, I don't like this. I really don't like this energy. I need to get out. I need to escape. But I kept looking at my watch thinking, when's it going to be polite to leave?
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. If you have people firing off, you can't just suddenly go, oh, bye.
No. So I had to wait until it was a polite time to leave. But even when I had left, I remember sitting in the car, and it was a 2.5 hour drive home.
Wow.
And I was holding onto the steering wheel, looking at my arms, thinking, they're not shaking, but it feels as if they're shaking. It wasn't my physical body that was shaking. It was my energetic body that was quite literally shaken up by the argument that it had just witnessed. Anything like that have happened to you?
Perhaps not quite so spectacular, but yeah. Soon after coming out of hospital, I thought I'd take a while and celebrate. You know, after 9 months of doing anything, you want a break, don't you?
Yeah, fair enough.
So I thought I'd go to the cinema. So I went down to the local cinema to watch the local James Bond. Now, I'd watched James Bond, well, I'm not quite as old as the first James Bond, but I'd watched all of them. And absolutely love them. The plot, the drama, the villains, the heroes.
Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig, what's not to like?
Yeah, those two. Not my cup of tea, but hey. Well, I was really looking forward to it. So I went into the cinema and I sat down, and within 10 minutes I walked out of the cinema. Something absolutely extraordinary happened. And that was the first time I ever walked out of a James Bond movie. Yeah, so I was watching it. And obviously there was an opening scenes, and usually in the opening scenes there's quite a lot of drama and violence. And I began to shake, and in fact my solar plexus began to fire off. It was like someone was banging a drum against my solar plexus. It was very weird, really strong. And then the whole of my body literally began to physically shake. And at one point I thought it might be some form of medical problem. Anyway, I left. Within 10 or 15 minutes, there was just a small reduction in just the shaken upness I felt. But nonetheless, it took 2 or 3 days for me to return some form of normality. So slightly different to yours, but quite interesting.
The interesting thing is that was actually make-believe. It wasn't real life.
Exactly, yeah. It was just a screen with characters playing out.
Yeah.
But I guess it had energy, the energy of the characters.
But I suppose what you watch does influence how you feel. I mean, just watching the news can be quite difficult sometimes.
Yeah, and it's loud and it's quite intense and so on.
And quite shocking sometimes as well. Yeah.
So that's my experience of being overwhelmed and not knowing anything about it. I guess at the time it should have been a wake-up call, an energy management wake-up call. It took a few other prompts for me to go down that route though. So we also want to share with you an example from one of our clients to help you understand, if you like, the big picture of how it is possible to go from a place of excess sensitivity and overwhelm to a feeling of well-being. A gentleman came to see us a number of years back, and he had been a healer for over 10 years, and this was his dream job. Quite literally, it was his dream job. But he began to find he was getting drained with clients, exhausted, overwhelmed. And generally in a spiritual practice, it's not your energy. No. Energy is being channeled through you. So generally you feel fabulous. You walk away from seeing clients, you feel energized, positive, upbeat. And in fact, you can work for the whole day non-stop with a few basic protocols, and you'll still feel energized and upbeat by the end of it. So this was a big sign that something was wrong. He explained that he felt that his energy was a bit heavy, and also his home felt a bit odd, as did his business. So we went to see him, I think it was for 3 sessions, and within 2, we were teaching him the techniques that would enable him to take back control over his energy, and within the 3rd session, he felt a lot lighter. We then cleared the house, and we also cleared the business. What was interesting, though, was the feedback he gave. He said, it's interesting, other people are saying, I'm a bit different. And so, of course, we said, well, what does that mean? Is that true? And he said, well, no, you're right, it is. It's almost like I'm back to my own self, which was a fabulous testimony. But then what was even more wonderful was he was beginning to build his confidence in spirit again, and he could literally feel the love of his spirit guides around him. So with the simple techniques and practices, he was able to fairly quickly, actually in a very short period of time, and he did practice them, begin to take a state of overwhelm and not doing the job he loved, to begin to feel better, healthier, happier, begin to consider moving back into some form of spiritual practice. Of course, we'd love that you also have the chance to benefit from some of the learning we've had over the last 10 years.
Why not sign up below to gain access to further free videos on the subject of energy management? We'll be looking at it in far more detail and empowering you to become your own energy management expert.
You will receive free proven techniques. Firstly, to support you in building powerful connections with spiritual helpers to help you learn how to manage your energy. Secondly, to support you in building strong boundaries where appropriate.
So important.
Absolutely. Thirdly, to give you tools and techniques to help you clear yourself as and when that feels right. And fourthly, enable you to really take back control over your sensitivity, reconnect with your inner senses, your empathy, your connectivity, and your compassion, and take the next steps to begin to embody your purpose and share your gifts with the world.
The first technique that you'll receive as soon as you sign up is one that will help you to stop receiving like a satellite dish 24/7 everything that's out there.
I like that analogy.
You'll do this by learning how to turn on and turn off your sensitivity in a way that suits you. But we'll also be sharing with you more details on our upcoming workshops, which, with the aid of the Aura camera and also lots of our tricks of the trade, you'll be able to expand your knowledge on this crucial subject so much more. So please do sign up below and book your place now. Thank you so much for watching, and we really look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now.